This episode of the Firebirds Fan Zone is brought to you by Kyle Garman Realtor. Whether it's your forever home or that perfect desert getaway, Kyle Garman and his team at Keller Williams have the experience, integrity, and tenacity you can depend on to make the dream of home ownership come true. The Fan Zone is also brought to you by DesertDefenseLawyers.com. It's a fact that bad things happen to good people, and DesertDefenseLawyers.com is there to make it better when it does. DesertDefenseLawyers.com has been keeping good folks out of the penalty box since 2008. The Firebirds Fan Zone is all about sharing the Coachella Valley Firebirds fan experience, so if you're enjoying the show, please remember to subscribe and hit the notifications button so you never miss an episode. If you're really enjoying the show, please feel free to share it with the world. And of course, hit that like button. Okay, if you're ready, we're ready, so let's get into it. 3, 2, 1...
Firebirds goal! Scoring his 13th goal of the playoff. The captain, number 17, Max McCormick, assisted by number 19, Cameron Hughes. Welcome to the Firebirds Fan Zone with your hosts, David and Kyle.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's strong. And just like that, the episode starts. It's that easy. It's not even that hard. Now, today, we've got a killer one for you. You're going to love this one. I'm going to love this one. Kyle's going to love this one. But, as always, we got first things first.
Yeah, I want to thank Palm Desert, and then also want to thank, again, everybody who was here, and Ev and everybody for subscribing and liking and sharing. Actually, I'm starting to see the numbers go up, so it's working.
Yeah, it's working good. And I think, I'm not 100%, don't hold me to this, but this might be our last regular episode of the season.
Of the regular season.
Of the regular season, right, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Our last regular episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as we're going to enjoy it. Because you know who we have today? There's only one way I can say this. DJ Beneficial in the house! That's the only way. You can't just say DJ Beneficial because it worked that way. But we got DJ Beneficial. You know him because he gets you rocking and rolling. He gets you moving. He gets you shaking. He gets you standing up. He gets you singing at every home game. Yep. But now we're going to learn to meet the guy. This is the guy. What's up?
Hey, I appreciate that warm welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. We're glad to have you here. So, listen, let us start from the very, very beginning.
Sure.
Who are you and how the hell did you get here?
Well, my name is Ben, and I am official, and I've been official for quite some time now. But,
it's clever.
I'm based out of Southern California. Obviously, I'm out here with the SoCal teams. You were talking earlier about where I'm from and everything. I was actually born in New Hampshire, of all places.
New Hampshire.
And when I was
Winnipesaukee?
Dublin, Peterborough area.
That's all I know from What About Bob.
It's the kind of area where it's just trees everywhere, pine trees everywhere, and long 2-lane roads, and no street lights at night to see where you're going. So you got to rely on your headlights.
Oh, yeah. How did you know when you had to go home when you were a kid?
Well, I don't really.
The sun goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
I only really know it from visiting family, growing up. But
how long did you live there?
When I was 2, we moved out here.
Okay.
Originally, my dad just wanted to get away from all the snow in the winter, so we first moved to Colorado, which wasn't quite.
He didn't get the memo.
No, I guess he didn't know what it was really like there. So no, we moved out. We spent a couple months there. My aunt was living there. We stayed with her for a little bit. We moved out here when I was maybe 2.5. So I've been raised in California between Anaheim, Fullerton area my whole life. OC, yep, definitely OC.
Where'd you go to high school?
Fullerton High School.
Roger.
I also went to Magnolia for a couple semesters. That's over in Anaheim. But pretty much Fullerton's my hometown. That's where I was raised. That's where I just came into who I am as a person. But what I really first did that got me into music and got me into hip hop and everything was breakdancing. That was my first.
Nice.
I'll say breakdancing is my first love, but DJing is the love of my life. It's kind of the way I like to put it.
Did you ever watch Breaking?
Yeah, breaking is cool.
Breaking 2.
I would
Electric
say the
Boogaloo?
movie though that really did it for me was Beat Street.
Ooh.
That was the one where I was like, okay, I want to do that. I like
Street.
that. Yeah.
There's a scene in Flashdance, and it's not the one you're thinking
Yeah.
of. There's
They're
two
on the
great.
cardboard.
I thought there was
Yeah.
only one scene in
I
the
know.
movie.
There's the two guys out there doing it.
So those guys are from the Rocksteady crew. They're like the famous New York crew from the 70s and 80s. And at a time where breakdancing kind of died out, they were the ones that kept the torches, going, and
They were really good in that scene.
revitalized it in the 90s.
That was pretty awesome.
So I'm a 90s breakdancer. I'm not really an 80s breakdancer,
Okay.
So no cardboard.
Did you go?
No, we
like,
would get linoleum tile. We would roll up a linoleum
Oh,
tile. I found that cardboard, it's not very slippery for doing backspins and all that, but...
Did you do all that stuff on the head?
Oh yeah, I was
spin?
competitive. My crew is called the West Coast Rockers. That was our crew.
Oh, so you had a crew and
And,
everything.
And, we
I've
went.
been
We
around.
battled people in LA, San Diego,
No
OC.
kidding.
Yeah, I was really into that for a good decade.
How old were you?
In my teenage years to my mid-teenage to my mid-20s was like my
so like
my
high
time
school,
with high
phasing
school,
out.
yeah.
Did you play any sports?
I did play football a little bit in high school. I didn't really stick with it. I actually was probably more into basketball than anything. I played basketball at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, there you go.
Basketball guy.
I think we took like third place or something like that, just in the Orange County League. But
Rec
that was
league.
in like junior high and all that. But I've always been into more individual things though, than like martial arts and breakdancing is like I could do that by myself.
So you say martial arts. What do you?
I did martial arts when I
Jiu-jitsu
was
or-
young. I took like taekwondo and
Okay.
stuff like that. But
It's a prereq for California kids. You got to take at least
Right.
one, month for
Got it.
free
well,
lessons.
if you grew up in the '80s and you watched The Karate Kid, you're gonna want to do it. So.
Oh, there you.
I
Yeah.
got stories about that.
yeah.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah. But I would say, of anything, breakdancing was the thing that I stuck with. It.
Did you ever serve anybody?
Oh
Have you
yeah,
been served?
yeah. People have been served, and it goes around and comes around. Thing about it is, it's a young person's activity. You're going to get older. The young people all get to pick up with all the benefits that you didn't have. We would pass around VHS tapes and copy them with each other.
Oh, heck yeah,
Where
I remember
everybody's
those
got
days.
YouTube now. We didn't have
Yeah.
those kind of advantages.
No.
So there's that, and also just age. It gets harder to keep up.
Then
Stamina
you get
and
soft serve.
everything.
That's
yeah.
a whole different thing.
But no, I'm really happy that I did that at the time that I did. Great memories. But eventually you move on to other things, and I really feel like DJing is my true calling.
How'd that happen?
Yeah.
So I was at the time I was just working regular 9-to-5 office job. I was working at Bank of America, and one of my coworkers got a controller for like a birthday present or a Christmas present, and they had no idea where to even get started with it. And I was already kind of known around the office as the music guy. Whenever we'd have like the overtime extended hour shifts, I would always bring my speakers, and I always had all the music everybody
You had
liked.
the
so
Bluetooth. You had the
I was-
MP3.
yeah,
player.
the iPod.
That's right.
Yeah,
The shuffle.
I think I won one at work actually in like in a little prize contest that there was an incentive prize or something, and I won one. So that was kind of the start of me just building up my archive of music.
Okay.
That was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on LimeWire. I'm gonna get every song I ever knew about, and that was
That's
kind of
right.
the start of me just building my collection. But prior to that, I was really just strictly into like lyrical, conscious kind of hip hop. I was really just into music that was like of substance, and I didn't really like radio music. And this is where my mentality, my attitude was at the time.
This is 90s, right?
Yeah, this is 90s,
Early
and then
2000s.
up into the early 2000s too. So my coworker got this controller, and I was already known as the music guy. So they said, "Hey, would you want to borrow this and figure it out, and then you can come teach me how to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds kind of like fun, you know." So I took this thing home, and this is like somewhere around like 2007, and
So when you say controller, so that way everybody knows what you're talking about.
so a controller is basically an all-in-one unit. So it has the levels, the crossfader, it's got the up and down faders, it's got the knobs and all that. But then it also is extended out beyond just a mixer.
Okay.
So it also has like the dials on the side, and then like little buttons.
What are
and
the
stuff.
dials?
I
do?
say, what do
So
those do?
well,
Yep.
kinda
Everybody
like
wants to know.
Kind of like a record player.
Yep.
And then there's like CDJs, where you would pop in a CD, and then you have this rotary thing, and you can kind of scratch it like it's a record.
Okay.
And then a controller will just have not even a CD, not even a record, just a dial, and it's basically controlling an MP3 that's in your computer. So the MP3 gets loaded on the left or right side, and then you can scratch the MP3 just the same way as if there was a record there. So
You're digitally scratching?
I didn't get into DJing when it was analog vinyl.
Actual vinyl
Yeah.
records, and that you use the line
Right.
to indicate where the certain
You
parts
put
of
a
the songs
sticker on certain parts, you know,
Yep.
that's where you
Oh, yeah,
scratch
man.
right there, you know. And I give it up to those guys because it's definitely a lot harder of an activity than, you know,
It
what
is
I
now.
do, to have to do it all by ear, to do it without an interface and all that.
Well, they had the
So-
crates too with all
Yeah.
the vinyls. They were lugging
crazy.
around
Crazy.
stacks.
And there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that too. If you do a daytime event, the sun can like melt your vinyl records, and you could bring them all out and just trash your whole crate just because you wanted to do a pool party. Then there's the analog needles, and those can fail on you, and there's all that. So there's a delicacy to it. There's you know, a whole different mind state that goes into that. So and there's also a charm to that too. You know, I wouldn't say that vinyl DJing is obsolete, because I've seen gigs where I've gone to where it's like a nice, classy kind of speakeasy kind of vibe, and they got an analog, I call them analog DJ, or you know,
Yeah.
a vinyl DJ, where they have all their records and they have a shelf next to them, and they're setting one up, and they're kind of putting them on display, like.
It's actually kind of cool. That's old
And-
school.
Yeah, and then when they
like
play
that.
the song, you can see the sticker. It's the actual record that they're playing. So I do think that's still, to this day, really cool for its own value. But I got into DJing around like 2008, and you know, the digital DJing time. I think CDJs came around like 2000 or 2001 is when they first came out.
CDJs?
Yeah, CDJs. So CDJ is, you know, there's like a Technique 1200 turntable that, you know, they would play the record on. And then the CDJ, when it first came out, is you could actually just put a CD in there. And you could, you know, mess with the dial, but it would scratch the CD. And then there's also, if your CD was scratched, you could skip. And there's, you know, there's always been some kind of, there's always a give and take with any time technology as it evolves. You know, you get this new ability, but then there's also new little hiccups and things that can happen. But when I got into DJing was a time when you could have all your MP3s on your computer. Your computer will give you a visual interface so you can see what the volume is and the waveforms, and you could see that on your screen. So when you're mixing, you can see that the beat is here, and then this one's coming in. You can see, you can line them up visually, which is a huge advantage. And then we would have these records where the record would just have like a digital tone on it, and the computer would kind of decode. So if I'm scratching the record, it hears like woo 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 woo, or you know, whatever, and then it knows what direction, what speed it's playing, what direction, and in real time would convert it. So I would have a record that literally had no music on it.
Just for scratch
That's
purposes.
Yeah, and I'm scratching it, but it's decoding the MP3 in real time. So instead of carrying all these crates of records with me to a gig, which is why I said, like, again, I said I respect those guys. I never had to go through that. So, you know.
You never needed a dolly to carry the whole crates full of records.
Oh,
Seriously.
no, and you know, nothing but respect, you know, because they paid those dues in that time. But I got into it at a time where I could just load up my hard drive, you know, my iTunes with a bunch of music, and then when I would open my program, the one I use is called Serato. I could open my program, and then there's a whole list of all my music in there, and I could just pick one and load it on this side or load it on that side, and I could scratch it, and it's indistinguishable to an actual record being there. Like, it has the exact same response, which is pretty cool, I think.
There's someone had to invent. Can you imagine the math
Well, yeah.
that went into
Yeah.
figuring that out?
It's
Right.
beyond me, dude.
It's crazy. So let me ask you. So it's 16 years ago or so. You're figuring this out. I'm gonna be a DJ now.
Yeah.
How do you get your first gig?
My first gig was at a house party from one of my coworkers at that job.
Okay.
So,
Because you were cheap.
well, obviously,
Is it affordable?
you got to
Right.
start somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, no. So I took this thing home. I started playing with it. I started messing with the levers and knobs, and I'm like, yo, I can see myself doing this. And it wasn't even a week had gone by, and one of my coworkers just asked me. Shout out to Tonette if you ever see this, the Mitchell family.
Mitchell family.
She for whatever reason asked me if I want to DJ her party, and I had not told anybody I was a DJ. She's like, "Oh, I know you're into music, so I just thought maybe you could do it." And I still don't really understand how that came about in her mind to ask me that or whatever. But yeah, it was though. I do feel like everything happens for a reason. You know, it was like the universe said, "This is your path."
Yeah.
And I did their house party. I said, "You know what? Let's do it."
How did it go? Was
It went actually great. It went great. So I went to Guitar Center, and I'm getting my first set of speakers and all that, and I'm using my 9-to-5 money to fund my DJ, my next move in life. And I found this subwoofer that they had, which was originally like a $1,700 subwoofer, and it was on clearance for like $300. And this thing was massive. I mean, literally from all the way across, they had a huge backyard, so all the way from across, it was like rattling their windows and all that. And it was in Colton, so it was in an area where there's no sound ordinance.
And no neighbors probably, because there's some wide open spaces out
Yeah,
there.
some big wide open spaces. So, I did this party, and I just had a lot of fun with it. I had a bunch of music, and it was my first time just putting it all together and performing in front of, a crowd. And it was just a lot of fun, so.
How'd it feel coming away from it?
It was definitely a good learning experience. It gave me confidence that, I could continue to do this kind of stuff, and it was a side hustle, can make some money on the weekend or whatever. But it also gave me more of appreciation for other music that I probably wouldn't have gravitated towards if it wasn't for entertaining a crowd. If it wasn't stimulating me with lyrical conscious stuff that's like food for thought or positive motivation type of hip hop. I was really into like East Coast hip hop.
Who was one of your favorite?
KRS-One, Tribe Called Quest, a lot of those type of guys. Talib Kweli. A lot of those guys were like my two favorite from the East Coast would probably be Guru from Gangstar. And from the West Coast, my favorite rapper is AC Alone from Freestyle Fellowship.
So now, right now, they're looking at us going, I'll bet those two guys have no clue what he's talking about.
I've heard of some of these guys.
Okay, so one of us two has no clue who you're talking about.
Well, they're not radio famous rappers, because they took the underground route. But they weren't making music for the club. They were making music for, for spirituality or for consciousness or just for...
So now I got to go check it out.
Or they're talking about street life scenarios and things too, but talking about like the outcome of that and how to navigate through that. And, that music really just got me through some hard times. It was there for me when I really needed positivity in my life, as much as I could, But there are some things, just different topics that they would talk about, But if anything, being a white kid growing up in Orange County, it gave me a look into what other people's life experience is like and gave me an appreciation for what other people go through that aren't directly in my immediate circle. So, it is good because it also gives you like knowledge of yourself, but also knowledge of others and that kind of thing. So hip hop was a really good, I think it's been a great benefit to me that I was in it at the time that I was, but getting into DJing, now it's like, okay, now I need music that people are going to want to party to. And this is the stuff that like I wasn't particularly into collecting, but because of DJing, I grew an appreciation for it, and that just expanded over time. Now I had no reason to be like, okay, I don't need this. Now you do need it, but more than just a need for it, I actually do, enjoy that. And this is like 16 years ago. This is when I had kind of a shift in my own personal reality, and at this point, there's just no limit to what I'm willing to listen to, what I'm willing to embrace. I mean, I play everything from electronic music, house music, trap, to Latin music, cumbia, salsa, merengue, reggaeton. I was even playing La Chona at the last game. I was playing the Quebraditas and some banda, and
I love banda.
Peso Pluma and stuff like that. Yeah. So I actually just love DJing for the fact that it's opened up my perspective to a lot of different things that I wouldn't have been into, and eventually led to me getting on the radio. So I've been, for 5 years now, I've been on a radio station out in Riverside called 99.1 KGGI. They're part of the iHeartRadio family. Okay. And
Like as an on-air?
As an on-air DJ, yeah. I do every Monday traffic jam mix. It's called the Rush Hour Mix. And I do every Friday night from 10 to midnight.
Oh, wow.
And,
No way.
Yeah.
And you travel here to do...
Yeah, so it's like maybe like 45 minutes from where I live.
To come out and...
To come out and DJ for the radio.
And you've been doing... 16 years you've been doing this?
So it took me 11 years to get on the radio.
Okay.
I DJ'd for 11 years just doing bars and clubs and stuff like that. I did house parties and stuff early in my career, and then I've just seen how like they get a little out of hand and there's no security there. So I'm just like, okay,
Enough of that.
that's you do
This
that
isn't
to
safe.
kind of build your confidence, to get experience and all that, but then at some point you gotta leave
And
that
then now we're on the radio and...
And then after 11 years, I've worked with people from every radio station, from the LA ones to people from San Diego, and bringing in the Riverside DJs, and I just got to know everybody. And there was an opening at KGGI, and shout out to Kid J. He hit me up and said he's the program director at KGGI, and he said, "Hey, we have an opening. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Yeah."
A job, let's
say
go.
less, Yeah, let's do it.
That's the mornings on Monday?
I do 5 p.m. So like 5 to
You're going to
like...
be late.
Yeah, right?
What kind of
generally...
range does that say? Can we hear it out here?
You should. Yeah, you should.
99.1?
Yeah. I mean, I listen to it when I'm coming to the games,
Okay. We'll get there.
But yeah, it's an open format station. They play the new hip hop, play some throwbacks, we play some reggaeton, we play remixes, and I do some house remixes. What I really like about it is if there's a song that I want to play, I'm allowed to play like a remix version of that. So if it's like a Cardi B song, but I have like a house remix of it, I can play that version.
Your own remix or one that you...
I can produce my own remixes and play those
Really?
too, so I can actually get my own music on the air.
Do you need approval when you do that? Like how does that go? How does that process work?
I mean, I pretty much know what's acceptable at this point. Like I know what the vibe is, and as long as it's good, as long as I'm not, playing something that's not good to the ear.
But Cardi B's people are going to call you up and be like, hey, dude, you got to knock it off?
No. That's part of our... We play hip-hop. We play the new hip-hop. We play... we play some throwbacks and, the old Snoop and Dre and that kind of stuff too. But we also play, Bruno Mars and that kind of stuff too. And, we're allowed to play we're basically like a hits radio station.
Okay.
So I like that I have some freedom to express myself, the way that I would want to play something. And if they ever didn't like, I'm sure they would tell me, but I haven't had any complaints, since I've been there. So I've been with them for 5 years, and I've been on another radio station. It was formerly Dash Radio. They recently just got bought out, and they're called Lit Live now. And I'm on a station over there called Hip Hop X. And that one I do 7 days a week, and that one is just all the new hip hop, and there's no commercials, and there's a clean and an explicit side, but it's an app base. It's not an FM.
Oh, I was gonna say,
it's not an
definitely not
FM
FM.
station, so it's kind of like an alternative thing that I do. But all that stuff is just outlets for me to get exposure and bring awareness and just connect with people. And
Going back, so you started off, you're like, I'm a hip hop guy, I'm a breakdancer guy, this is my universe.
Yeah.
Decide you're going to be a DJ. Now you've opened yourself up to all kinds of different genre.
Right.
What artist or what genre surprised you the most that you're like, man, I love this. I didn't know that I would.
I would probably say reggaeton.
No.
I would probably say reggaeton because
I
I mean I've seen Daddy Yankee on the videos and Don Omar back in the day and everything. And my first, and this was in like 2002, when I 2000 mid to early, and so my wife is Mexican, and I've gone and spent some time with her family members, and we went to her cousin's house, and I just remember seeing it on like the Latin music video stations and whatever. And my first thought of it was like, okay, so this is kind of like Latin rap, like they got the cars and the girls and they're rhyming their lyrics, and it's like, okay, but the beat is obviously different. There's definitely a different energy to it, but it's kind of rap, but it's also kind of not rap, it's its own thing. But I didn't really get into it until DJing years later, and then reggaeton really exploded in popularity after Despacito and Mi Gente and all those songs came really popular.
That would be considered reggaeton?
Yeah, and it does have, the 2010s have a different sound than the 2000s reggaeton sound. My personal favorite is the 2000s era.
Like who would that be?
Well, like Daddy Yankee, Don Omar, like El General. Well, he's more from the 90s. But off the top of my head, I could probably like Oye Noriega. He also did hip hop too, but he had reggaeton songs like Oye Mi Canto was a great song. A lot of those songs have really stood the test of time. Like they still get played now, and it was during that time where it got really popular that I said, okay, I don't speak Spanish, but I need to dive into this. I need to do my research. So I just looked up at like who all the artists were, Joel and Randy and Ozuna and all those guys that were just killing it at that time, and I just listened to all of it. I was like, okay, I know these are the guys, Maluma and J Balvin. I'm like, okay, I got to get
J Balvin.
look at all these guys. Yeah. He was just at Coachella, the festival last weekend. Yeah. I watched it on YouTube. But,
Yeah.
So I just found out who the big artists were, and then you also see who they're featuring. Like Wisin and Yandel. Like, okay, cool. I'm gonna look into them now.
That means they're the up and comers, right?
Right.
They're OGs, but the OGs also work with the new people, and the new people also show love to them back and forth. So there's the reciprocation there. And then I would just go through their whole catalog. And you can do things like, you can go on iTunes and see the popularity meter and see, okay, go ascending, most popular to least. And then like, okay, these are, and I'll listen to them. And just being a musical person, I can kind of tell where the chorus is, and I know where to mix in and mix out without even speaking the language.
Do you play an instrument?
I'm learning piano. I actually took piano lessons when I was a kid. I didn't stick with it, but I just got an Akai keyboard, and I'm going to be using that for like making my own music. That's what I want to transition to is to make my own music. So eventually, at some point, the DJ falls off of your name.
Yeah,
I'll just be beneficial at that point without the DJ. Just like it's not DJ Deadmau5, it's not DJ Calvin Harris. They are DJing because they're, they got the decks and they're putting their music. But
it's like, that's the stamp when you get rid of
DJ.
DJ.
When you're playing your own music, because a DJ's job is to play other people's music and to put it together creatively. And maybe you transition with some wordplay tricks and, whatever. But, that's the DJ. And then when you're playing your own music, that's when you're still DJing, you're still a DJ, but that falls off of your title. And then there's what people call a real DJ. I kind of think the term that best suits them is turntablist, which are the guys that scratch and juggle and they do all this stuff. And like, I can do some of that stuff, but that's not where my main directive is.
Right.
I'm more, I want to entertain the crowd. I want to have a variety of music. I really just like music. And from being a dancer, I already had some fundamental stuff in mind, like counting the beat,
Timing.
The timing, the 5, 6, 7, 8, knowing where the 8 count is. So that stuff transitioned into DJing and gave me an advantage getting started because I could already, in the back of my mind, I already knew where the 5, 6, 7, 8 is. So I know right there is where you start. And there's a lot of songs. This is kind of like what every DJ knows this, but most people probably wouldn't know this, which is we have this thing called the intro edit. The intro edit has a 32 count of instrumental before the first lyric of the song comes in. And most hooks or chorus of a song is a 32 count of chorus. For like 98% of every song is formatted that way. So when the chorus starts, we start mixing in the intro, and that's how you hear the beat of both songs at the same time. And then right when the hook ends, the next song comes in, and there's no words over words, there's no open instrumental. So that's how a lot of radio DJs just transition from one song to the next, and there's no awkwardness in between. And that's just kind of like fundamental DJ knowledge, but that's how we put it all together.
Can we talk about how you got hooked up with the Firebirds?
Sure. So I had been DJing for a team in Anaheim, Anaheim Ducks, and
I've
Just them?
I've heard of them.
Just them?
One time.
well, my buddy Jojo, he's the head of the music department over there. He's the resident DJ.
Okay.
And I actually know him from KGGI. He was one of the on-air radio personalities over there. So we knew each other from that time, and then he let me know when there was an opening, and I've been very blessed. I can honestly say, like, a lot of it is hard work, and then a lot of it is also luck, and a lot of it is also, how you treat people. If you just treat everybody, respectfully, and keep good relationships with people. So there's a lot that goes into getting into these kind of positions in life, and I just want to say I'm very lucky and very blessed to be here and everything.
That's awesome.
And he reached out to me when they had an opening, and he said, he had me in mind as somebody he thought would do a good job there, and he brought me in. So I worked at the Honda Center for a little while doing stuff like with their concert events. They have a lot of like restaurants and lounges and kind of things that go there. So they have DJs that play music at some of their in-house venues, and we would basically try to complement whatever the vibe is in the concert. So if it's a country night, we're gonna play country music. If it's Latin, et cetera, et cetera. So I started out doing stuff like that with them, and he just thought I would be a good fit and brought me in. So I spent one whole season where I was like shadowing them and just seeing how everything operates, because DJing sports events is a completely different type of a job than DJing a club or on the radio, where the radio, you're kind of in a room, but it's exciting because there's like tens of thousands of people out there listening at any given time. So you just feel like whatever you're doing is, rippling out.
Yeah, for sure.
Into the out into the county, and then when you're at a club, you can visually see the response. And then I also do live streaming too on TikTok and stuff. So there you read comments and you can see a number for how many people are watching you at any given time. But you're consistently moving along. You're playing one song to the next one to the next one, where sports DJing is situational. If we take a penalty, maybe you want to run a penalty kill. You want to play like "Locked Up" by Akon because the guy's in the penalty box, or if there's a fight song, you want to play like "We're Not Going to Take It," or "Fight for Your Right to Party." Things that kind of energy-wise and also lyric-wise will complement the situation. So you got to have everything organized a different way.
And it's not just you making that call, right?
Well, it's me and Ron.
Yeah. So you and Ron are having that conversation in real time.
Yeah.
Because last time he was on the show, and I didn't know this. That's what I found very interesting, and so we wanted to have you to come on, was because he's saying he's calling.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I want this to play now, or so you guys have to be pre-game having your conversations, and then obviously during game.
Yeah, and Ron's been really great with that. But just to answer your first question, Jojo found out there was an opening over here, and he put me up for the job. So that's how I got introduced to the Firebirds.
Okay.
So when I came in, there was they had all these different DJs they were trying out, and I got lucky that I ended up being the one that they stuck with. And working with Ron has really been a great experience, because he's been doing the sports type of work for a long time now, so he has a lot of great experience for me. And I'm here just like, hey, I want to take in all the information I can, because I need to educate myself and just learn as much as I can so I can do the best job that I can do.
When you say learn, is it like the culture, or what's it that you're trying to learn?
Operation-wise is one thing, and then also he gave me a lot of really good input on the type of music that we would play during different situations and all that. And I have my own kind of idea, like "Say It Ain't So" by Weezer, if it's an away goal and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, stuff like that. Like I thought of, and then
Dude, you kicked in with Baby Shark a while ago at the perfect time
against the Barracudas.
Oh,
yeah.
So we were talking about just how
really
perfect that was.
Yeah.
I think
So
that
those are
was.
your
I think that was Ron's call, actually. Like, I would love you to take
guys are
credit.
dialed in.
No, he communicates really well, and he gives me the freedom to also try things out that I think would work, like playing La Chona at the other game. I was like, I've been wanting to try this. Can I try it? He's like, I don't know what it is, but you can try it once. We can see how it goes. And everybody loved it. So I was like, okay, we're going to throw that one in from now on. So I know a lot about music. He knows a lot about hockey. And we both also know a little bit about the other thing. You know, we both have some crossover. But I've been able to set up meetings with him where I can, you know, come on. We meet up on our days off and we sit and just kind of hash everything out. And
do you come in with a playlist before each game?
I have. So what I like to do is I like to show up early, and you know, I bring my whole setup, my own DJ booth and my controller, and I get that all set up, and then he sends me an email prior to me coming in with the timeline, with the schedule. So we have a thing in our program called the Prepare folder. It's just kind of like a place where you can drop things off if you want to use them later. You can hide it and bring it back if you want. But I've been using that Prepare folder to build my timeline. And I look at the schedule and I say, okay, we're going to do warm-up mix, and then we're going to go into this segment and this segment, and I'll try to think like, okay, what would be a good song for this segment? So like, let's say for an example, if we have an advertisement we're plugging for like a cookie vendor, you know, Sweet Susie's cookies available at the shop now, and then I'm supposed to play a background song, I'll bring in like a Yummy by Justin Bieber or Sugar by Maroon 5, or, you know, something that's kind of relatable to whatever the topic is. So so I'll look at that schedule and I'll build my timeline before we even start. So I already have everything ready, and that's been probably the most important thing to help me operate effectively, is to already have everything where the next thing is already there. The thing where it's a little bit more to my own discretion are just the regular whistles. So the regular whistle, it could be one of two things. It could be I'm going to play a background song while the announcer is either giving the statistics or, you know, talking about something, and then when he's done talking, then I come in and bring the song in. Or it could be where there's no announcer and I'm just going to play a song that's going to try to hype the crowd up. I'll play like Boom Boom Boom, or, you know, something like that. Or even some of the old jock jams work really well. So I just try to be as prepared as I can, but I also have all these different folders on the side for, you know, different things. But I think what's really been the biggest game changer for me is bringing in the iPad.
Okay.
So two things I've done to try to help me operate better is I got a second monitor. So instead of swiping to see what's next on the list and swiping back to my DJ program, is I added a second monitor through like a little USB, and I have that display there. So I still have my program always there, but then I can always look and see what's next in the timeline. So as they're saying this is coming up next, I can see it there, and that gives me a good visual.
Do you have a little ear thing going?
I have an ear
thing.
thing. So I have two headphones on. So I got one that's like a microphone and an earpiece, and then I got my own thing with the speaker, with my own headphones with my own queuing up my music.
Thing,
yeah. And then I also have a booth monitor on the left, and then I have like my own little dial for the volume on that. So if I can't hear what they're saying, I'll turn it down. Or there's a little bit of a delay from when the crowd hears it on the speakers to like when I'm playing it. So I can't just play off of the external speakers.
Right, takes a second.
There's a little bit of a little latency. So I have that, which is coming out of my mixer, so I can hear it.
When did you feel like you and Ron were starting to really figure it out? Because I know we went through, because you came into a situation where the DJs prior, there was kind of this
We had about 15 DJs at one point.
merry-go-round. I don't know the number exactly.
Last
but
year,
yeah.
we had whoever it was last year did a
Yeah, they
great
did a great job.
It was fine, and then left for whatever reason.
That's what I heard, yeah.
And then the beginning of the season,
It was hard to find.
Just a hodgepodge of hit and
I think
miss.
you were going to do it for a minute.
I know. I would have been shy to take. Well, you know what every song would have been if I had done
Kelly
it,
Clarkson
So, yeah,
all
Kelly.
day.
You don't play enough Kelly Clarkson. I'm
Okay.
just telling you.
That's
I'll
one
work
man's
to
opinion.
Just
so you know.
stronger and whatnot.
If Ron has a problem, I'll be like, hey, Dave
play
requested
me,
it.
dude.
So
Throw me into that tour bus.
Yeah, you and Kelly all night.
Yeah, no, I think what really helped was, they had to try out, see who was a good fit. This is what I was told. My first game I did there, that I guess the fans really like the music. Even somebody emailed them asking for the song list.
Nice.
And they said they've never had that response
So
before.
I'm about to ask
like
you
that.
when we wrap up today. I'm gonna ask you for some songs.
Sure.
I want that warm up mix. My wife wants that warm up mix too for
Okay.
her workouts. Yeah.
That's some
I
good stuff.
have been recording them lately. I do want to start uploading them on like YouTube or something. They're about 18 minutes each
Yeah.
one. I usually do like a mix of like EDM and rock and a little hip hop, but
That's
mostly
so good.
EDM. Oh,
That's
thank
fun.
you. I appreciate that. I think what really helped it all come together was just meeting up with Ron and implementing the iPad. So one of the challenges has been something that he needs me to play, but it's happening right now, so I need to have it and play it right now.
That's tough.
And
Like, what's an example?
I had to tell him like, hey, if you're asking me for something, I have to type it in and find it. So if you tell me, hey, can you play this? And I'm like, yeah, I can, but I'm typing in. It's like, okay, play it now. I'm like, oh, well, I still need to.
There's a delay.
I need to go in my search and type it in, and then it filters it down based on the characters I put in. It filters it down, and then I'm trying to find it and then pick the right one. And I have to make sure it's the clean one too.
Right.
And I have everything labeled, whether it's clean or explicit. So so that takes a moment, but we can't afford that moment. It needs to come out now. So I started bringing in the iPad. So now I have the iPad loaded with everything I need, and I can just push a button, and it's right there. So I have like page 1 is the goal song, the power play song, the let's go chant, and then all the stuff that he's ever just asked me for, like, hey, can you play this? Like,
It's,
All the
in,
right
it's
now
in
songs?
there.
all the right now
It's in
songs
there.
are
Like,
all on
what's
page
what's
1.
an example of a right,
Right now
song?
song is like, if it's icing, we're gonna play Your Love by Outfield. If we need to hype the crowd up real quick, let's throw on Gasolina. If it's just the stuff that a couple times he's asked me for, and I'm like, okay, he always asks me for this song. This is one I better put on there. All the small things, for
So
example.
it's just getting to know each other. It's the
Right,
repetitiveness.
right.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, I just want him to be happy with my performance. So if he really likes, like, for example, he's from Pennsylvania. He really likes Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller. So those are things I put on there because I want to play that. I love when he's like, hey, nice, good job, Ben. I'm like right on.
Yes.
That makes me happy when he's happy. And so I have page 1. It's just all the go-to, and not just the Ron songs, but the stuff the fans like, and just the go-to songs. Page 2 are all the more hard rock songs, like the fight songs, or just the little heavier.
Because he also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
But I noticed there's a lot more heavy metal stuff going on because Ron really likes that rock music, and he likes.
I think it's a hockey thing too. I
Yeah.
think rock and hockey go
Gets you
together
going
pretty
for
well.
sure.
It's true.
Yeah. It's an aggressive sport. I always say, like, I have, from coming in and just seeing the games firsthand. Like, first off, I'm really privileged to be in this position to see these awesome moments happen as they're happening in real time. Like, there was a play they did the other day where it was like 3-on-1, and they were in the triangle, and they were all passing it between each other. It's like, who's going to be the one to hit it? And the goalie is like, okay, where is it coming from? And then boom, and they got the goal. And I'm like, dude, this is so awesome. I get to see this stuff happen.
Were
Like,
you
that's so
were you a
cool.
hockey guy before?
I've always liked sports. I just, I rollerbladed and stuff when I was younger. But there was a place called Stewart's Roller World that was around, but then
Stewart's World.
that was in Fullerton. I know I'm dating myself,
That
but
was
that
in
was a
every
long
town.
time
Well,
ago.
yeah,
But
yeah.
those things kind of phased out, so there wasn't really a lot of places to play hockey. But I always played the sports in video games, Madden and FIFA,
heck yeah.
So. That's how I would kind of get my dosage of that, and I follow sports as much as I can, but music has just completely consumed my attention span. I mean, I stopped playing video games altogether when I got into DJing. It just took over. Anything else that would hold my attention just all got pushed to the side when I got into DJing. Yeah, but cool. I have a lot of respect for what these guys do because they're playing a game, and then the other team is coming at them, and they'll slam into you and everything. And you're on ice, on skates. It's slippery, so it's like, it's not easy.
Yeah, just doing it on the ground running is dangerous.
And these guys are pros. And even just like on rollerblades, where if you fall, you could just catch yourself on the ground. No, they're on ice.
Yeah.
And
They make it look so easy.
yeah.
It
They do, though.
is not.
So I forgot what your last question was.
Well, were you into sports? Were you into hockey? But so I'm assuming like a lot of us, and I say us because I didn't grow up with it either. But you became a fan after you started watching it a few times.
Well, it's given me a lot more appreciation for it.
Heck yeah.
You know, I've actually been able to see, you know, what goes into it, and you know, it's not that I ever didn't have respect, but it's given me a lot more respect for it.
Well, I agree. By understanding a little bit more, you start to go, oh, okay.
But sometimes, you know, you just need to get more exposure to something to, you know, develop more of an appreciation for it. But, you know, I'm very grateful that there is something like this that I can be a part of. Because, you know, I'm the DJ there. I'm there to basically complement what is going on there, what they're doing. You know, it's not about me, it's about the team.
Right.
But if I can help in any way by hyping the fans up and getting their energy going, then they're going to give that to the team. So it's a contribution, but obviously, like, it's all about them and just trying to do the best that I can to get everybody enthusiastic and get them, you know, rooting for our team.
It's a I don't describe that. I don't want to say a delicate balance, but there are a few key jobs, a few key individuals that together, like Jason Hernandez, Tim O'Brien, certainly Ron, because he's, you know, the maestro of the whole thing. And you are not just responsible for the night or the experience, but the feeling we come away with, and that's the bigger thing. And I mean, I would love to be in a position where I could do something like that. I think that's, you know, I don't think you know how huge what you do is.
I definitely, I'm nothing but grateful. I'm nothing but just have the perspective of, I'm so lucky to be in this position. I'm so lucky to be the guy. Because here's the thing, everybody wants to be the one in the spotlight. Everybody wants to be standing there and be like, hey, look up at me, you know, look how awesome I am. I'm the DJ, whatever. But a lot of people don't know what it takes to be in that position. And what I feel like what it takes is you have to put your ego aside, because your ego is not going to help you succeed in this type of work. Even when it comes to nightclub work and radio work and all that. And I take all the feedback that I get, and I actually encourage him to tell me how I did at the end of the night, and to tell me what worked and what didn't work, so I can go and come back and do better. I definitely am appreciative of the fact that I'm with, like, in my, you know, obviously statistically, but also in my opinion, the best team in the AHL.
Well, yeah.
You landed in a
I got lucky.
spot.
I got lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that feel?
Great.
Knowing that you were coming to this kind of culture. Did you know about the arena and what they were doing?
Well, it's pretty new. I mean, it's,
Well, it is,
it's
but
like 2 years old now.
Well,
or
we're
something.
We're
about
going
2
on
years. Yeah.
About 2 years. So this is about 2 hours away from where I live. So I do.
Well, that's the dedication I heard. I was like,
but I'm
whoa.
all about the work. You know, if
This would be worth driving 2 hours.
it is worth it for me. Well, here's the thing too. I am constantly consumed by media. You know, every waking hour, every minute when I'm at home, I'm researching music. I have multiple record pools where I'm getting remixes and edits from, and I go through those every day. I'm constantly organizing music. If I'm not organizing music, I'm live streaming on TikTok. I'm making content for social media, and there's not a dull moment ever when I'm in my spare time. There is no such thing as spare time for me. All my spare time is occupied. So these drives, when I'm coming out here,
That's your zen time.
it
your quiet
is.
time.
It really is. So the drive is really enjoyable because it's nice and scenic. You know, it's like desert, but then it's really beautiful. Some of these mountains and everything, and it's just like a peaceful time. It's the only time when I can really just kind of sit and like reflect on where I'm at, what I'm doing with my life. But also, it gives me time to kind of catch up with people. You know, one of my best friends moved out to Las Vegas a couple of years ago. So I'll call him and I'll just catch up with him. Or
Yeah, it's a good time.
Drive time's good
Yeah.
for dancing at.
I'll call some of my relatives that live on the East Coast and just see how they've been. And then, you know, when my wife's on her lunch break, it usually is around the same time I'm on the road too. So I get 30 minutes to talk to her, and, you know.
Probably
So
the
it's not
best
like,
30
oh
minutes of the day.
man,
Yeah.
oh man, I got to drive again.
We get
So-
along really well. She's an amazing, like, honestly, shout out to my wife Sue, because I would never have made it this far, as a DJ without her support. And
Dude, I don't know about
It's
you.
not an average-
I do
it's
know
not an
about you.
average job.
I could not be where I am without
No.
my wife.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Right.
think
Yeah.
the universe puts you with the right one, and the sky's the limit, right?
what do they say? Behind every great man is an even greater woman.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Good for you.
But I support her too. She's an artist. We've done events and stuff
What does she do
together.
with her art?
She does like acrylic paintings and stuff. She does graphic design now. That's what she does for a living, actually. She went to Cal State Fullerton and got her degree and everything. So she does that for a living now. And, even early on in our relationship, we would do events together where we would, she'd be painting an artist and I would be playing music from that artist. And we'd be like in the same, at the store at the mall and
Love
doing stuff
that.
like that together. So
How long you been married?
16 years.
16 years?
Yeah, yeah.
How'd you meet?
You're in it.
We met from my friend who moved to Vegas. We had a little get together at my old apartment at the time.
In Fullerton?
In Fullerton. And she came in the room, and it was one of those things where it was like, as soon as she came in, I was like, whoa, there's a different energy about this person that I haven't felt from anyone, like off the bat. And we hit it off right away talking about music, because she loves music too. And her mom raised her on old school music, and then of course she liked her own. She was really into like the pop punk kind of era. I think
Like
she
80s pop punk?
no, like 2000s. Good Charlotte and Fall Out Boy. And all that. She was working at Hollister at the time.
Got a lot of Fall Out Boy in Hollister.
Yeah. So, but she also liked old, disco and funk and stuff. I think it was like Star 98.7 was the station.
Oh,
at
way
the
back
time.
in the day. That's where Ryan Seacrest got his start.
Yeah, so she already had an open mind to music, and that was kind of really where we connected. So we started dating, and it was right after her birthday, and we had a little get together for her birthday. And it was kind of short notice. I didn't have a gift for her yet at the time, but I hit her up, and this is on the MySpace era.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So I actually had her number, and I called her, and I was like, hey, I didn't get you anything for your birthday. I would like to, maybe take you out or something. It was kind of like my angle.
Very clever.
My angle.
Smart move.
Very
This is a
clever.
birthday present, no pressure,
no
Not a date. A birthday
Yeah,
present.
let's take you out for your birthday. She's like, okay. And I was like, okay. So I'll pick you up at 8. She's like, okay. I was like, okay. So it was this awkward like ending to the call, and I was like, that was weird, but she said okay. I went and I logged into my MySpace account, and she had sent me a message like, hey, we should get together and go out sometime. So her okay was like, you didn't read the
didn't see my
message?
message.
Yeah, you think
okay.
this is your idea? Because that was my idea. So then after I texted her, and I was like, oh, LOL, like, yeah, I just saw your message. So what I did before I took her out, I actually bought an iPod, and it was iPod Video, which was a really cool thing to have in 2007, 2008, whatever. We started dating in 2007. So I got an iPod, and I preloaded it with all my music that I had on my laptop, and I also threw in some pictures, from my MySpace account. I took some pictures from her MySpace account, and I put them on there.
Look at
A
you.
lot of thought going into
Yeah,
that
it was
birthday
it was thoughtful. So that was the birthday present, in addition to going out to eat and everything. And I think that was a good idea that I did that, because she got to know me better through the music I listened to. And I had a wide range of everything from classic rock and Motown to, the kind of underground hip hop that I listened to that most people probably wouldn't have came across unless they had somebody show it to them. In combination with music I know that she likes, and, some radio stuff too and everything. So
It's a long drive.
Right?
so she got to listen to the music to get to know a little bit more of my personality. And then she could also look at the pictures, and there's pictures of me and her on there. And maybe some people might think it's weird that I got her pictures and put them on there, but I was coming from like, you're already posting these online. These are your pictures. I just want you to already have your own stuff, because this is your iPod, so I want you to have stuff on there.
Well, you gave her the iPod?
I gave her the iPod, and
Smart.
This guy.
Lot of
preloaded
thought, lot of
it,
thought.
Are you taking lessons out there?
Yeah,
This
a lot
guy.
of thought.
So we hit it off already from music. When we first met, when we were hanging out, I was showing her some music that I liked, some music videos I thought were cool, and that was how when we
Where'd you
first were
take her?
hanging
Where'd you
out.
go on the date?
We went to this, oh man, I really wish this place was still around. It was a sushi restaurant called Samurai. And it's not there anymore. It used to be in Fullerton, but this was a poppin' spot at the time.
Not Momo's. That was the place to go back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. In Fullerton, Samurai was really cool. It was the pre-party place where a lot of people would go before they would go to downtown Fullerton. And they were playing like radio hip hop and stuff on there. Other places were more like aesthetic or more like loungier kind of vibe. And this place was already playing like the same kind of music that was on the radio. So I was like, this is already kind of fun. It is a risk taking somebody to the sushi too, because not everybody's a sushi person, and she had never had it before.
Oh, but how'd that go?
She loved it.
There you go.
So we went on this date, and we're eating sushi and everything, and she liked it. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, she liked it. But we stayed there for hours. Like we stayed there until they closed. And it was kind of one of those things where, like, if you were to see it in a time lapse, you'd see everybody moving around us, and we're just like
just
right there.
still.
But we told each other like our life stories and everything. We really opened up to each other on that first date, and that's, I think, when I knew that like we were gonna have a good bond. And you know, 16 years later, we're still married and we're still happy with each other.
How long after that first date was the engagement?
1 year.
Okay, I mean that's a respectable
like
time.
it.
Yeah. No, we knew we liked each other. We were. I think when you know, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
Does she come to the games with you at all?
She has come to some of the ones in Anaheim. She came to one. She did some photography for me at one of the games. But I need to figure out how I can get some seats, because I know we sell out like every game. So I would have to buy the tickets myself, I think.
Ticketmaster's
Text
open.
me. The seats right behind us are available a lot. We will host her. We will be kind to her.
There
we'll
you go.
take care of her
Awesome.
for you.
There you go.
I would also really like to take her. Her father-in-law is a big sports guy,
Bring
so
him
I would
on.
love to get him to come out.
Section
If we have like a
106.
Sunday game, I'm sure he could make it.
Let's go.
So
Well, we're gonna have some playoff games now. Have you
Yeah.
have you watched or been a part of or know what you're in for about playoff hockey? It's a different
It's a
beast.
whole-
It's a whole
I
different
mean,
animal.
just-
I assume it's just going to be more intense than.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the play gets ratcheted up. I think the fans they know what to do now for sure. It'll be way more intense. I think you're going to see a different reaction. The play to the fans, everything just goes up.
Have you ever watched playoff hockey, just in general, NHL?
As much as I can, but like I said, music,
not regular
music,
season, like
no,
playoff.
but
It's
music.
a whole different thing.
It is.
If I was just a regular guy, I would have more time to,
Yep.
watch other activities or participate. But like I said, once I got into DJing, it just completely consumed all my time.
Yeah, you're gonna see
that's a
something
that's
different.
a plus,
This is
and
gonna
also
be a trip for you.
Yeah,
then.
this is
that's a good
Disneyland.
and a bad thing though,
Yeah.
because I'm also missing out on huge pop culture moments that everybody else is doing, and I'm just like, I'm just on my laptop all the time. But
You'll like
everything
this.
I do is to be the best version of myself that I can be.
Sure.
And I have another sit down with Ron coming up this week. We're gonna set up another time. We're gonna get prepared for it. So
Oh, for playoffs.
for playoffs,
Okay, good.
and
Good.
and just in general, I like to meet up with him periodically just to check in, see how I'm doing and everything. I know there's always little things that we're trying to little settings we're trying to tweak and everything, but ultimately it's just like anything in life, it's a work in progress. And as long as you do better than last time, don't repeat mistakes you've made previously, then that's the best you can do.
I can't think of a situation where you haven't done that so far. You've been on the money. So
Yeah.
when I say you and Ron and the whole team, everybody's been
It's
pretty spot on. But
seems
the
to work
energy,
out.
for example, yesterday, the energy was pretty high.
Nice.
Nothing compared to what you're in for.
Okay.
The playoffs just bring a whole and the play.
Yeah.
Everything about it is elevated.
What's higher stakes?
It's higher stakes.
and you
it's higher
feel it.
emotion. It's
You
higher
feel it.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
comes in
Yeah.
anxious. Everybody's just anxious.
Well, Firebirds went all the way to the finals last year.
know.
So
Yeah,
I'm
we
hoping we
sure-
get there
we
again
sure
and
did.
take it this time.
It gets
yeah.
really exciting then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's nothing
Stressful.
like it. What's some of the favorite parts of the job that you like? Since you haven't done sports DJing before, what are some aspects around
So
it that you like?
I did 1 year with hockey with the Ducks before I started.
On your
with
own?
And then,
Firebirds.
so,
Yeah.
but you come here to a little bit smaller venue. What do you?
Well, and with that was like once a month because there's a couple of us, so the
Okay.
rest we all take turns. This is the one where I'm the DJ every game,
Mm-hmm.
so that's been great for me just to have everything become more repetitive, where I'm getting used to, more reps in,
Yeah.
everything's more fresh on my mind, and I'm able to adjust and adapt and everything. But you said, what were some of the things that I've liked about it?
Yeah,
Or?
like you're like, oh, I really like this part.
I like getting to see, like I said, I like getting to see these moments as they happen,
Oh, yeah.
rather than just seeing it on social media. Like, I was there, I got to see that happen. I think it's there's just an energy that you get from being in a room like that, and just hearing the crowd, the ambience of it all. I keep getting this notification on my watch saying, "Hey, are you okay?
Right.
Your heart rate's increasing.
Right.
We noticed
Right.
you're not running or doing any type of activity.
Are
You're not
you all
going
right?"
anywhere, but your
Yeah.
heart rate is going up. You're above 120 BPM.
So the adrenaline is going.
I think it's a safety warning, like, hey, you might be about to have some kind of episode or something,
Sure.
I think that's what
Your
it
blood
is.
pressure's
It's
going
a-
up.
Can you imagine how many other Apple Watches
Oh,
are in the
dude.
arena? Everyone's
Yeah.
having an MI in
Oh
there.
my gosh. So that's just a tribute to the adrenaline that I
Yeah.
get, just
So you're in the
being
moment
in
with
there.
everybody.
I'm in the moment, yeah.
That's so cool.
The main thing is just always trying to be ready, because sometimes these whistles are back to back. Sometimes you'll have like 7 minutes where there's no whistle. Like,
Yep.
geez, we didn't even get to do our 10-minute announcement, and
Yep.
we're already past our 6-minute thing. So I think like one of my joys in life is just when I get there, I know I have enough time to set up. I'm not being rushed for time and everything, and I'm just setting everything up, and I know that I'm in store for another game, and it's about to go down here in a little bit, and I'm just getting set up, and that's just kind of a moment that I have before every game where I'm just like, this is going to be awesome, and I have more than enough time to just get prepared and everything. That's one of my underrated joy moments in life.
Do you ever just stop before the doors
I
open
do.
and just go,
I think it's when
what
I'm
am I
walking in.
doing here? I
Yeah,
love this
yeah.
place.
No, I think it's when I'm walking in and I just look out, and trust me, Acrisure is a huge venue.
It's different.
in its
It's
own
special, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about it.
Something about it.
Just coming in, and they're doing the audio checks and everything, and there's just that little like echo in the room and everything, and I'm just like, I would never have been in this position in life if I didn't, say sure to my coworker who asked me to learn how to use that
Goes
controller.
back.
Yeah.
Exactly. It goes back.
So here's something.
know?
I grew up on like 90s hip hop, like I was telling you, and I love East Coast and I also love West Coast hip hop for different reasons. There's different value I like in both, but I also, when I was like 12, I was listening to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm obviously very familiar with like Warren G and Corrupt and those rappers, and DJ Quick. And if it wasn't for DJing, I would just be a fan of those artists. But there was even a time where I was working at a nightclub where we started booking them to do shows at our club, and I got to be the opening DJ for them. So as I'm opening
cool.
for Warren G,
yeah,
he's about
that's
to get
awesome.
on.
Oh my
so I'm
God.
playing Snoop and Dre and Dove Shack and Mr. Grimm and all those artists that are like of that same friend group, without playing his songs, obviously, because I'm
It's
not
a
trying
dog
to
pound. That's
play what
it's
he's
the-
going to play.
it's
But
the
yeah,
whole- yeah.
that would have never happened if I didn't pick up a pair of decks. So I feel like it's kind of surreal at times that life has just kind of come this like full circle. Like, I was a fan of these guys when I was a kid, and now I'm actually here working
And you
with
did
them.
that.
Or
All the things happened, but you put yourself in that position. You
yeah,
did
but
that.
I don't take full credit either.
not a credit thing, it's a
it's people
fact.
that have believed in me too, that have put me in that position, that have put me on. But like I said, it's hard work, it's luck, it's also personality
all the things.
and being and also taking your ego out of the equation, because I feel like I've seen it happen where there's DJs that are talented, but they have a bad attitude, and then people don't want to work with them, and that's something I've learned over the years too, that it doesn't help. And you have to be able to take losses to get those wins later. If you take a loss and you catastrophize the whole thing, and and granted, it's never fun to take an L, but all the L's that you take only make the W's more valuable when you finally do get
Fail
there.
forward.
So when I'm walking into Acrisure, and I'm just looking out at all, the empty seats, because we're not open yet, and I'm just looking at all the seats that are out there, and I'm knowing like this place is going to be full, and like in 2 hours everybody's going to be in here, and like
Man.
this is crazy that I'm so lucky to be in the place where everyone's going to be listening to every button I push, every knob I turn. It is very surreal just to realize that like, this is my life right now. This is reality. Like, who would have ever thought? Because I don't think breakdancing would have ever taken me there. I mean, in a sense it did, because I would be in a battle, win or lose. I'm still there, and there's a big room full of people, and that's one thing, and that's cool. But then, you get older, and you either become a judge, or you fall into a different role, or you become a mentor, and you still keep it going. But that has its own path, its own course that it takes. But coming into where I'm in an arena, and I'm playing for all these people, it is something that I don't take for granted. It is something that I really want to make the most of. It is something that I know I have to take really good care of, because anybody could come in and do this. Not everybody's going to perform on the same level.
We've learned
everybody has their
we've
skills.
Learned that not anybody can come and do this.
Just anybody.
But if they were to put up an ad, people are going to respond to it.
Sure.
So I definitely want to. I always come in here with the attitude of proving my value every time.
I like that.
And anything that Ron says, hey, can you play this next? Sure, no problem, absolutely. And I think I've already said this, but I always take his feedback into consideration. So I'm in this mindset of wanting to make this last, wanting to make the most of it, and also just wanting to do the best performance that I can. So I consider this, there's different types of gigs that you can do. There's some where it's all about you, and then there's some where it's not all about you. The ones where you're in a nightclub, you're doing midnight to close, and they booked you because you're a reputable person, or you're booked to do your style of a mix. That's one where I'll come in and I'll just do my set, and I'm laying down my own remixes and everything, and that's where I just want to demonstrate my ability. And then there's ones where I'm also demonstrating my ability, but it's more about a service that I'm providing. If I'm doing a company party, or I'm doing something where I'm just there to add value to what the event is, that's a different type of gig. There, I'm not like hitting my DJ drops and, making it all about what I want to do. If they want to hear if they tell me, hey, can you do this? Can you switch it up? Sure, whatever is going to make the client happy. So this is one where I'm there to be a hockey DJ. It's not a DJ beneficial show. I think the one time where maybe I get to, during the warm-up mix. The warm-up mix is where I get to go out. That's where I'm like, it's still gonna be some rock elements in there, but a little hip hop, but mostly EDM, but also the right type of EDM, because that's a wide range of music. But playing what I think are the best type of song selection that would go with this being an arena and this being a big room kind of thing.
Well, I think you read the room really well. I know that. I think whenever, whatever's happening in the moment, you guys are communicating really well, and you're capturing it with some strong lyrics and some strong beats, and whatever the moment calls for. It's actually really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So you plan on sticking around?
Oh,
that's what I'm hearing.
If they're willing to keep me, I'll stay here as
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how this unfolds, and I'm really excited, really enthusiastic, and always in life optimistic. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Sure.
But all you can do is try to be prepared for any situation, do the best job that you can, and at the end of the day, leave it all on the table. I did that. Yep. If I need to work on something cool, I'm gonna get better each time. But not sit there and be too much in your head and be negative about a mistake you made or whatever. No, you can't beat yourself up too much about it. But I'm definitely always optimistic and enthusiastic.
That's great.
And you have to have positive energy to have positive results in life.
Well, I think my motto whenever you got two ways of looking at things, it's either is this happening to me or is this happening for me? So there's going to be a lot of that going on. It sounds like you're very
Sometimes
positive.
you get to pick.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're a very positive person. So that's great.
And humble. I
love it.
Does anything make you nervous about a gig?
Every gig makes me nervous.
Really?
I'd be lying if I said, oh, nah.
Yeah, I mean, you walk into
Definitely,
Acrisure 3 hours early, you're nervous?
It's not that I'm doubting myself in any way. It's a healthy,
Pre-game energy,
Okay.
healthy.
pre-game
Yeah.
Not to
jitters.
put too fine a point on it, but that's your house now.
I mean, I'll take it. I won't say that, but I'll take it if you're gonna say that. But no, I mean, I'm there to compliment the team. It's their house.
Well, it's our house, but in the context of what you bring,
Well, I think you get
those are your shoes now.
and you get it
Someone else,
right. Like
you
I
know.
think you read the room well. Like that's the thing. I'll go back to that.
Well, yeah.
I think you do. I think you read the room really well.
Yeah, I do get the freedom to express myself to a certain level. You know, again, the warm-up mix is the time where I get to like if I was to do a warm-up mix, this would be the way that I do it, and I get to actually
That's cool.
You know, convey that during that time period. So that's kind of my favorite part, just because that's the one time where I get to just do a full-on mix, and everybody.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love
everybody's into
the different flows, and like you're not sticking in just one genre. Like you're all over the map. It's great.
Yeah.
So that's one where I actually just get to demonstrate my own personal ability. But even still, I'm still trying to keep it on brand. Yeah, it's not a nervous thing where I'm like highly strung. It's just a respect for like,
Okay.
this is an important gig. These are high stakes. I have to operate the right way, and I always have that in my mind that like, I'm here to provide this service, and I just want to do a good job. So I'm always just mindful of that.
Well, just know that, and I'll speak for myself, that in the short lifespan that has been the Firebirds so far, you have done it the best. I'm not just saying
thank
that
you.
because you're here. I would tell another guy if he was sitting there, he should see what Beneficial was doing, right? I think you've brought. There was a lot of expectations coming into the second season, and a lot of kind of hit and miss at the beginning. But you guys, you and your team, and Ron, everybody
was going through the same situation,
same
growing pains. Yeah.
But you have found such a groove, and the best part about it is that it's a little bit different, a little bit better each game.
I like it.
We do try new things out each time.
That's a thing.
I can tell you that when I first came in, my mindset was like, you know what? I'm gonna just provide all my value up front. I'm not gonna come in and be like, oh well, this is what they provided for me, so that's all I'm gonna do. Because when I came in, they had like there was like the stage, but they had a table and a chair, and I don't know what any of the other DJs do. I'm not gonna speculate, but I have seen other sports DJs where they DJ with just their computer, where they're just picking songs and playing it that way. And don't get me wrong, that's not a bad way to do it, because when you do that, you can have 4 channels going at a time. And I actually, one of the DJs that was training me DJ'd that way, and I was like, I wouldn't have even thought to do it this way, and I probably wouldn't go about this way of doing it, but I can definitely see why for this type of thing, you would want to have 4 options, because then the situations are always different.
Sure.
So you can have a fun song, a rock song, a penalty song, a goal song, whatever. But when I came in, it was a table and a chair, and I was like, I came in with my cart, with my own DJ booth, with my own controller.
It's his house.
Love that.
And I said, you know what? I just want to show what I think a DJ, should be in this type of situation. So I came in, I set up my DJ booth, I brought my controller and set it all up. And I feel like that was a good look, because people came in and they could see that there's a DJ. Because if I wasn't up there in front of a DJ setup, they probably wouldn't even know I was a DJ. They probably think I was one of the press guys or something, or you would just walk past it. So I've been making little improvements in my setup as I go. One of the things I started doing is just adding like ambient lighting. I used to have the black curtains underneath the booth, and I changed them to the white ones because I added some ambient lighting, and then that actually shines through the white ones. So when they dim the lights, or even when the lights are on, you can still see like a red glow, because red is like our red and orange is our color.
Yep.
So so I added, and it's almost kind of like a gamer vibe kind of setup, but I just think it looks cool, when people come by. They had like a speaker for me that it was just like kind of a little computer speaker. And I went and got it's called the Skull Candy Stomp. It's just a bigger speaker, but it also has like LED lights on it too. And once the game starts, I turn off the lights on the speaker because I'm not trying to be distracted.
Right.
But during warm-ups, when people are walking by and they see the DJ set up, and then this thing is like lighting to the beat, I just think it looks cool. And I just want to make a good impression on the people that are hiring me, to see like, hey, this guy came and he's doing all this right off the bat.
Love it.
And then people are walking by and they're seeing this setup and they're like, oh, they got a DJ here, you know? So I came in like, I'm just going to come in and, you know, do a good job, but also bring a cool setup and I just want to make a good impression. And I had no idea. I thought it was going to be a temporary thing, or I had no idea what the future was going to hold, but you never know. Just in
we
case,
weren't sure either.
Yeah.
just in case, kill it off the bat, do a good job. So I just wanted to show my value and you know, just, you know, bring value to the whole.
Well, clearly
whole
you've
thing,
done it.
you know?
I know we got to bring the bus in here in a second,
Right,
but
right.
I only have one more question, and that
Sure.
is, did you expect? I know as you're in the arena, people are talking to you or trying to talk to you, and did you expect to get like live human accolades and you know?
I've seen it with the other DJs.
Interaction.
I've seen it when JoJo was at the Ducks when they first started bringing in the stage. Before they moved him down and gave him his own section, he was up there on the level, kind of like similar to how I am. So I've seen it, you know, when he was up there. I've seen that. So I was, in my mind, I was like, okay, that's a possibility. For the most part, it's been positive. It's usually just people saying, hey, you're the DJ. Hey, you're doing a great job.
Nice.
And I love that.
Yeah. Nice.
And I want to let all the fans know, if you guys are watching this, you know, I want to let you know that I appreciate all that positivity. Like, that does make me feel really good to know that they like what I'm doing, and it's you know, positive. It's not criticism. It's usually just people saying it. Sometimes it's like, hey, can you play this? And I'll always relay that to them. Hey, they're asking for
Little
this.
tip jar, little note jar for like a piano player.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll always take a request. I can't guarantee that I'll play it, but it's a request, so I can. It has to also get approved. If it's something like out of left field, you know, I'll ask. But I always do my best to try to accommodate. Appreciate all that positivity.
Cool.
I think the only thing that is sometimes people like stepping on the stage, because that actually shakes my whole setup, because it's not bolted down. So that's the only thing that makes me a little nervous, because I am just out there. Anybody can come up. So that's probably the only downside to just where my position is. But I mean, I just learned to adapt to it. I'm more of a problem solver. I'd rather not just be complaining about an issue. I want to try to find a solution. So if we could put on caution tape or bring a little divider or something, you know, just anything.
Little velvet rope.
Yeah, just
DJ
something,
style.
you know, or at least bring it up and like, hey, what can we do about this and whatever. Mainly just because I want it to be a smooth operation all the way through. You know, I just don't want there to be any catastrophe that could happen or just any distraction. I like to stay focused. You know, I drink coffee all the way down. I take these like ginkgo, you know, brain power pills before I come. It's just herbal, natural stuff.
Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain kind of stuff. Yeah, because I want to be focused. You know, and that's important when you're in a high intensity work environment. You know.
Which you are.
Yeah, it definitely
the playoffs
is.
are coming.
Hit us, dog.
We're gonna do it. So, you've seen the show.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I got to ask you two questions actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Who's your favorite player? Do you have one? It's not part of the
I'm
rapid
still
fire, but-
learning. You know, it's still hard for me to tell because where I'm at, I think probably Hughes, just because he's got the Hughes.
Yeah, right.
You know, but
And he looks like a hockey player.
yeah. But I am also really focused on the job that I'm doing. So even though
Sure.
I'm watching the play, I still can't really tell which player
Got it.
you know it was and everything. I definitely still need to do some more homework on the team and everything. But I do follow the social media pages for Fuego and Firebirds and Acrisure. And I just love seeing how they interact with the fans. And,
They do a great
and,
job
and
of
all
that.
that stuff. Yeah. And it's really high production, all the cameras and everything. It looks so aesthetic on
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty good.
But I really feel like all of them are doing such a great job. And, you know, we're in this position because of them and, you know, because of the great job that they're doing. You know, it's a huge privilege to be on the best team and everything. But I wouldn't say anyone is better than somebody else. You know, I think they're all collectively doing a great job together. So
Okay. Well, that's a good. That's a very. It's a good answer.
Savvy answer.
politically correct.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
You didn't paint yourself in a corner, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Do you know about the beard playoff beard
What is it?
Tradition.
No, I don't.
tradition that so in hockey, the the players, and I think it's everybody, right? Just
Well, it's a player thing.
It's a player thing,
Now others catch on to
so
it.
they don't shave. They grow their beards out until.
Okay.
Because it's
Is
bad
that a
luck. You don't want to
superstition?
shave the
Yeah,
luck away.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
So, are you gonna partake in the activity?
Oh.
Now that
If it'll help our chances, I guess.
I think it might.
I mean, I still got other gigs I got to do. I got like proms and stuff, so I don't know. But I mean,
well, you better just do what you can.
Yeah,
I think I'm
yeah.
gonna do it. I think I'm gonna participate as well. I think it'd be fun.
yeah. But to your last question, I would say, if anything, I feel like our goalie has been doing a great job too.
Which one?
Okay.
Drieger?
Drieger.
Yeah, Drieger. That's the one I know of. That's the name I know.
Steska's really.
No, yeah, he's been doing
They're
a great
both
job.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna see their elevation in game because it's gonna get real intense. Like I said, everything ratchets up. So
Yeah.
love
So
it.
they were a little bit on vacation last night.
It's okay. It's all
right.
good. All right.
Okay, yeah. Rock and roll.
Now we're gonna do rapid fire.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers
We got
crossed,
through
Just
all of
don't
this. It was
think it.
good.
Don't
Yep.
overthink it. Don't think it at all. Just answer.
You're there 3 hours early, but do you have a go-to food out at the arena?
Well, we have our lunches provided for us.
That's
and
what I
it's
hear.
always something good.
Tailored answer. I know.
I've never
We
had
hear
one
you
I didn't
guys.
like. Yeah, yeah.
You eat well. Have you ever tried anything out there?
I really like when we had the Chinese food. I love the pasta. They do a.
Oh, he's talking about the
No.
schmancy dinner.
I'm talking.
I've not tried
arena
any of the
food.
The
vendors.
concourse
no, I
food
haven't.
for us
I
regular
never get
people.
to eat the regular
Yeah, try it.
food around the way. I haven't tried any of it.
Give it a go. All right. Next time your wife's there, have her try stuff.
They feed me before the game, so
I
I'm
know.
always set.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you ever come out here outside of work? And if so, is there a go-to spot for food? Do you guys come out?
Well, me and my wife do love going to Palm Springs.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the place we've been to because we only come out once in a while, but we liked all the brunch spots that they have out there. I know you're asking me about food, but we also like the hiking trail that they have. It's probably the cleanest hiking trail I've
Pretty
ever
awesome.
seen in my life. Yeah, it's really nice.
Good hiking out here.
Palm Springs is really cool because it's like a beach city, but without the beach, you know.
Yeah. The seagulls.
Kind of. That's a good
Yeah.
analogy.
It is.
But
I like where it's at.
yeah, we like to try a different place each time.
Okay.
So we like to try everything once, and then we'll figure out what our favorite thing is.
What's your go-to in Fullerton, though? Because there's some good
Ooh,
food in Fullerton.
That's a good question. I mean, I love In-N-Out. I know that's not really anything that they don't have anywhere else, but I think Matador has really good tacos. They have these, it's called the Matador taco. It's just this massive thing. It's really good. But, I've been eating at Taqueria de Anda since the 90s.
Dude, that's what I was getting to. That is the best, hands down.
Yeah, I remember when their slogan was "No burritos, just tacos," and that was their commercial.
Really?
And
Yeah.
now, of course, they have burritos now.
Yeah.
But
And the burritos are
yeah,
good.
I'll go for an Al Pastor burrito
Yeah.
from them any day.
And there are only a couple choices. You got to know what you want when you get in that line.
Yeah.
And you love how the napkin holders are all locked down to the table. Try moving a napkin holder. And then you can't do
I
it.
actually know how to order in Spanish too.
Oh,
from
of
there.
course, yeah.
Perfect.
You go for me das uno burrito de asada
Yep.
con chili verde y sin
And they
cebolla.
do not
y
skip.
uno horchata grande sin hielo.
Yep, exactly.
That's the order.
Exactly.
That's the
No
order.
Gotta work
worries.
on my accent a little bit, but no.
good.
Yeah, Deonda's the best.
My-
I've
but my-
been going there for years, since the 80s.
Yeah. My new favorite place though is this place called Ensenadas. It's
Where's
like a seafood Mexican food place. So they have like the
where
shrimp
is it?
cocktails. It's borderline Placentia. It's by the Cal State Fullerton.
Okay,
They have
down on
really
the
good
east
breaded
side.
fish tacos. It's so good. We tried that place once we moved to that area. We wanted to try the local places. We tried that one, and it's been great. We even took like a whole platter to my in-laws so they could try it, because we just wanted to show them how much we liked it.
Heck yeah.
But
It's getting late. I'm getting hungry now.
I know, right?
That's what
yeah,
I'm
I know.
talking about.
food.
There's
That
a lot
hour.
of places. I talk
Yeah.
about food. There's a lot of places I could mention, but
No worries. What's on your radio come game day?
on my radio
Yeah.
coming in,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know you're thinking, but
no, sometimes I just like to relax. Like whenever I have a long distance drive, I'll just play like.
Kenny G.
Honestly, I have this one
Maybe.
playlist called it's called '90s Dream, but it's literally just like adult contemporary.
Really?
Yeah. If I were to
There's
listen
something
to
about
like,
it. There's just something about it. There's
oh
there's
yeah.
a flow.
Well, I mean, now that I'm an adult, I do like adult the Eric Clapton and whatever. No, if I were to
Yeah.
listen to like my music, it would be boom bap, '90s hip hop. That would be my go-to at any given moment. That's gonna put me in a good mood.
That's right.
But
He's right.
sometimes before I know I'm about to have a lot of adrenaline, I like to just relax on my drive down there.
Get focused.
Yeah, but sometimes when I'm in a mood, I'll listen to drift funk music. I'll listen to like cyberpunk kind of music.
Yeah.
I'm really into anything like futuristic type of energy.
I can feel that sometimes when you're pre-gaming, and we're down there for warm-ups because we're always in the same spots typically, and we're listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can get real housey, real.
Yeah.
Like, and other times you can feel something different. It's cool.
I'm really into just everything future aesthetic. I mean, since the 1980s, we've been promised this future that in 2020 we're gonna have flying cars.
It never happened.
Huge hologram billboards and all
Never
that.
happened.
And
Well,
maybe China's kind of got a little bit of
they
that
got some
going
of that.
on. We're not quite there yet. but
hoverboards. We were promised hoverboards. Damn it.
Never
The
came.
day
Power laces.
he went to the future was like, I think it was 2015 was when
Yeah.
Marty arrived. It was 2015 or 2018. That's when they had the Nike Mag release.
Right.
I forget, but it was somewhere around there. So
Yeah, I
I've
still
always
remember.
been looking at the future, and we got Back to the Future on the poster right there. I always thought that life was, but even if we're not caught up there collectively, I'm still in that frame of
Love
mind. I'm really into just all the futurist type. This clothing brand I wear, I'm a huge fan of. It's called Fabric of the Universe, and it's just that kind of aesthetic. So I'm embracing it.
love it.
We are here now.
Okay.
I love all the electronic music and everything too. So
I can tell when you're into it because it comes through pregame
Yeah,
for
right
sure. What's a treat yourself day look like for DJ Beneficial?
I always forget the name of this. Santa Barbara.
I've heard of it.
3-hour drive to Santa Barbara, getting a lobster sandwich in that little cove area, and just hanging out. Yeah, it's always food, or Big Bear.
Oh,
Going out to Big Bear, and just walking around. Sometimes even just going to like Santa Monica Pier is really nice.
sounds like you're an outdoorsy guy.
If I'm gonna treat myself, it's me and my wife doing something fun
That's cool.
together. But it's going out to eat, and it's also something adventurous. Going for a hike, or even just getting out of the house.
Well, that's great.
I spend a lot of time indoors just working
Yeah.
on music, so I like to get out.
Well, we were interviewing Evan, and he was saying his ideal day, literally treat himself day, is doing nothing but locking.
Exactly.
He just locks himself in his house and just shuts it down because he
Yeah.
rarely gets a chance to do that. So that's the treat himself day. I'm like, yeah, dude, I totally get it. He's gonna be all right with this one.
He'll
Yeah.
know.
Are you a DC or an MCU guy?
The kid in me, DC. I would say the adult in me would be Marvel, but
That's a good response.
Marvel, it's been kind of hit or miss lately. I think up until like the end of the Thanos saga
Yeah,
was
agreed.
kind of where I was just really.
You were
digging
all
it.
in?
It really depends because it's also the production. I really like the Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeves era. I think that was a
That's
great time.
Good call.
Michael Keaton is my Batman, but I really love the Christopher Nolan time.
Christian Bale, dude.
Christian Bale.
Well, Heath
Christopher
Ledger.
Nolan was the director,
He was
right?
the director,
Yeah. But Christian Bale, that time was really good because it was a really dark, gritty take on it.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck did a good job too. I think he was a really good Bruce Wayne. He really looked like the guy from the animated series.
That's true.
I think Batman the animated series is probably the best thing that's ever been done.
Wow.
And it's won Academy Awards and stuff too.
No kidding.
Yeah, the one episode with the Joker where he kidnapped Robin and like Jokerized him was like one of the most critically acclaimed episodes ever.
See, I told you.
Can we give Adam West a
I-
little love
I
though,
love
while we're here
that.
just for a minute?
Yeah, no, I think Adam West did a great job of portraying the golden era
comic book
comic book
60s,
side.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he did a great job portraying that aesthetic. Obviously, we look at it now and it's goofy and
Exactly.
everything, but
But for the time,
yeah.
it was good.
I really like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man though.
So, who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero, it's a toss between Batman and Spider-Man, to be honest. Like I know
Either way.
there's probably better choices, but I'm not really deep into the comic books. I'm more just movies and everything. But I like the Justice League and all that stuff is great.
That's
too,
fun.
you know.
They're all
I
fun.
like it all.
They're fun. They're goofy.
Yeah, yeah.
So what other profession other than what you're doing now would you have liked to try or done?
I've often thought about being a radio host, and on the Dash Radio Lit Live platform, I do actually get to host for myself. So as I'm starting my mix, I actually get to introduce myself and tell people where to follow me. And at any given point, I can chime in if I have something to say. Sometimes I'll play a new song. A lot of these artists now that I've met them at the radio send me their music directly.
Oh.
And I also have
like
the
that,
record
okay.
label reps that send me their music as well too. So maybe I'll even chime in a little bit here and there and say, hey, we got a new song from this artist, you know, check it out. This is what it's called. This is new music. You heard it here first, you know, whatever. And just try to,
Nice.
it gives me a reason to have something to say. But I also remind people they can request if they want to hit me up on Instagram or get a birthday shout out. And sometimes I get those and I'll shout them out on the radio. And
That's pretty cool.
so I often thought about that. I don't know if that would really work out now because I do have more of the DJ work where that would be something you'd have to commit to. I could probably do like a morning show, but I know they have big.
Gotta get up early for that.
Yeah, to get up early for that, and then you know it's like, what show would I do? Because they got Ryan Seacrest over here, we got Tito Cochino
Right.
over there, you know. So
You don't know until you just do something, I guess.
that would be something I would like to do if it worked out. But
Okay, I like
Hit
it.
us with the big dog.
All right, what's your favorite curse word?
I mean, you can't go wrong with the F word. It's a classic. You know, it always, whenever you're upset, it
classic.
could just come right out. It's also works on a multitude of different levels. You know,
Sure.
you can use it it means different things in different connotations.
Yes.
It's a classic. You know, it gets the job done.
I agree. That's
Yeah.
good.
Right,
That's everybody's kind of go-to.
I was like,
so
we're gonna wrap it up, but I want to talk about
I like
you
it.
behind your back, in front of you, to my friend Kyle. over
Okay.
there.
Please do.
Dude, this guy is so much more like humble and down to
Yeah.
earth and freaking nice
Yeah.
than I ever imagined. Don't tell him I said that.
Fair enough.
But this was a lot of fun, dude. I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, I think that's again part of why we did the show was to when we meet people like you who are you're adding that extra element to obviously the experience, and so without you then it feels weird, and I think that's really what it is when we piece this whole thing together. It just feels weird if we tried it. There's different DJs that came through and it just didn't fit.
And I think your personality fits what the Firebirds
Yeah.
the Firebirds experience is. It's
Yep.
humble success.
Yep.
And our players demonstrate it, the organization demonstrates it,
a good call.
the fans demonstrate it, and now you're sort of
Yeah.
the tip of the spear there. So, dude, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming in.
Yeah, I
really
really
enjoyed
appreciate
it.
it. Seriously, this is fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that you guys gave me an opportunity to just get to know the fans and communicate and just let them know what I'm about. But I really appreciate that you guys reached out to me and wanted me to do
We
this.
need one more thing from you, though.
Oh yeah. Can we get a Go Birds from you?
Let's go Firebirds!
Let's go Birds.
Go Birds.
That was good.
Dude, thanks again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good
Right
to
on,
have you.
right